All right. What's up, everybody? We are here casting the Olimoleague 2022 Finale Tournament. Olimoleague is going to be shutting down. It's an awesome online Korean tournament that just gives such good high-level games. And for the finale, they've got the best players. Every single one of the best players, other than Cyril, in this tournament. And we're starting here in the top 8 match between Liquid Clem in the top right, up against Dark in the top left, in the bottom left. Dark is obviously an absolute monster, and he usually has Clem's number. Now, you're also going to notice these maps are kind of interesting. These are actually Team Liquid map contest maps. So some of the finalists, I believe, that they're playing on. So really interesting tournament. This is only a best of 3, but we've got a lot of matches. And don't be surprised if you see me posting a ton of them. Some of the matches I know were a bit more one-sided, but just seeing how these maps are played, seeing how such top-tier players play against each other is going to be fascinating. Cannot wait to see what goes on in this one. This map seems to have this little path in the middle. You can see the SCV scout for Clem comes across now. Looks like 3rd base along the left and then 4th base probably north of that. But you could just expand forwards and go down here. So I'm kind of eyeing the terrain and I'm thinking, like, if you take a base down here, tanks behind these rocks could be deadly. If you take this 3rd, you're going to have to break those rocks down real early, Dark. Dark, are you sure you want to take that 3rd, buddy? This 3rd is way easier to defend. I mean, yeah, there's some corners that you might have to attack around, but he's going to have to make sure he breaks those rocks and does it early. Otherwise, an early 2-base tank bio-push from Clem would be deadly. Let's see if Clem studied the map and knows about that option. Reaper doesn't quite get any kills to start off. There is a second gas, which tells us that Clem wants to go for a starport. I don't know what the rush distance is on this map, but if we just kind of imagine pathing through there, up there, yeah, probably medium, somewhere in the medium range. I would guess about 33-second rush distance from natural to natural, or main base ramp to main base ramp, I guess is what you usually guess from. Factory's going to float down, swap over onto that reactor, get some Hellions pumping out. Link speed is on the way, so not the fastest link speed, but decently timed for Dark, who is going to be going to that next step. Much love to those watching live in the chat. I'm going to give you guys some props in a few minutes. Please keep that train going. Thank you very much. Reaper going up into the main base. Comes playing pretty safe, I would say. Dark's known for a lot of crazy all-ins, so it feels like Clem going for the double gas probably just plays Banshees here and just does a very straight-up opening. Dark's playing very standard for now, and he's not as prone to doing crazy all-ins versus Terran, but it'll be like, you know, stop at 60 drones, make 1,000 Zerglings, and then just try to kill them with 1-1. He does like to try to gamble in game 1 of a series by going double Evo Chamber before Lair and Baneling Nest. And if he does that this game, he's going to be in trouble because he's up against a Marauder build. It's Marauder, Viking into Medevac, so it's going to be a Hellbat Marauder push. It's a very deadly push. Now, he's actually gone concussive way earlier than you're meant to. You're meant to be building the Armory and the Medevac and then start concussive. So we'll see if Clem realizes his mistake here. Armory goes down, Medevac's being delayed by that concussive. Does start up only a few seconds late, so not too big of a deal. Dark, he's put back on gas, but no second gas. No sign of what he's going for next. If he doesn't drop a Baneling Nest or a Roach Warren or build more queens soon, he's going to be dead. Only 7 queens is not enough to defend this. Not a handful of Zerglings and 7 queens. If he gets perfectly positioned, maybe. But notice he's dumping all of his energy into tumors, which means he has no transfusers saved. He's got so many. 8 active tumors out. Yeah, that's greedy. Dark is a greedy player. Him and Reyna both do this sometimes where they just don't save energy. When we first played Legacy of the Void, one of the early rules we figured out against Hellbat pushes was to be safe as a Zerg, you should only get about 4 or 5 active tumors and then save energy. So around 4:30 to 5:30, you start to have a lot of transfusers saved up. None of these queens have transfuse right now, and that push is already coming. This is a big problem for Dark. He does get a lot of damage on that Hellion, though. That's pretty damn nice. Here comes the boost. Dark should realize what's happening right now. He's trying to build emergency spine crawlers. Ooh, the Medevac gets focused down very early. Huge mistake there for Clem, in my opinion. But the Hellbats are doing some big damage. Already 1 queen's fallen down. The Lings get obliterated. Good pullbacks. Notice how Dark is spreading in different directions. So the Hellbats are forced to spread out. They can't concentrate that splash damage. Viking's going to land here, though. There might just be too many numbers for Clem. We'll see how it goes. He doesn't have much of a rally into this. These Hellbat numbers are falling, which means the Zerglings will clean it up. The Zerglings are going to clean this up. There we go. He gets one of those queens. He knows he's done for. He's going to try and fall back and at least get as an efficient a trade as he can. Oh, he's going to get one more queen. The spine crawlers will finish, which aren't the most useful things to have spent your money on later on in the game. And oh my god, he gets another queen as well. And actually, he's got another Hellion and a Liberator coming in. So he's making this an awkward fight for Dark. Liberator will go to the right side, but not a good Live Siege. And the tail end of that fight goes very well for Dark. So from having pretty much the lowest amount of defense you could possibly have against this to shutting it down reasonably smoothly. And now Hellions and Marines rallying across. He's got to raise the depot. Clem's going to try and micro it, but my god, dude. Oh, this is huge mistakes for Clem in this game. And oh no, he's going to take so much damage here. Clem focusing more on his macro than his micro, I guess, towards the tail end of that. Underestimating the number of lings that would be coming in. He's not going to lose too many, but oh man, 5 SCVs is too many. He's already behind. Losing 5 SCVs unacceptable right now. Not something he can really be affording. The Hellion and the Marine will finally clean these Zerglings up. Fourth base, sorry, is on the way as well as Spire and double Evo Chamber. Deciding that Spire is a good choice. I mean, you've got a bit of dead space on the right of the main and a big bit of dead space over there. So yeah, there's some good angles for Mutas to fly around in. That third command center is up, but down 20 workers. This did not pay off for Clem. Even though he killed a lot of queens, it was one of those things where I think if he was rallying Hellions into the fight just a little bit smoother, he might have been able to get the critical mass and overwhelm. But shout out to Dark for having this Overlord out here, which the Viking did not find. This was the real reason why Dark defended, for anyone who's wondering. He saw the medevac boosting in, and he was able to start Spine Crawlers and pull every queen to the front and kind of focus the medevac down. If this Viking had been shot down, if this Overlord was shot down by the Viking, Dark wouldn't have seen it, and he would have had the Hellions, the Marauders jump on top, kill a few queens, and it would have been a disaster from the start. But instead, Dark got together, was able to get his transfusers going and ticking over just barely in time, and that worked out for him. Now, Clem should be dead in this game. I would argue that anybody should be dead in his shoes, but the Mutas, they're going to snake around the left side of the map. There's no turrets up. He has no idea it's Muta play. He's got a handful of Marines. He's trying to build more depots, more Marines. Liberator's going to come in from that right side. There's queens and spores everywhere, though. This is not going to find anything, whereas the Mutas, any damage done for Dark is going to put him miles ahead. And Hellion doesn't see the Mutas. Oh, this is a disaster. Clem might just tap. Guys, I've seen Clem tap out of games pretty early when he thinks he has no chance of winning. And this is a disaster. He did not see this coming at all. He is banking on it just being Hydraling Bane, the more standard style. That turret's not up either. And that turret will get focused down. Very nicely done. He's trying to drop Marines on the low ground. Hellions kind of F2ing their way forwards. And these Marines even getting picked off. Does get one of the Mutalisks, but 13 SCVs, a turret, bunch of Marines as well. A terrible situation. And behind it, 6 more drones are on the way. Dark's going up to 77 workers. 1-1, Baneling speed. All those beautiful pieces are on the way, as well as the Infestation Pit. So he's not going to lock himself on Lair Tech for this entire game. And he didn't overcommit to Mutas. This is fantastic. He's going to have so much Ling Bane to crush this army. As Clem, you're like, oh, I've got to push. I can't let the Mutas pick me apart. But it's like, dude, he's got mass Ling Bane. He's going to surround your army. I don't see any way Dark loses this game. This is just going to be monstrous. This fight, Clem doesn't see the army. Clem does not see the army. He starts to see the army. He starts to run backwards. That's a lot of Banelings. He's trying to do a bit of a spready. It's a pretty well microed one, but the Banelings still kind of connect, and another couple Banes come in from behind. A whole bunch of Marines get left, and this is a disaster. Clem, as these medevacs go down, no doubt will be considering typing out with the GG. Looks like some Banes cleared his third mineral line. That's going to be the final seal of the deal there, and Dark continues his streak of getting under Clem's skin and dealing with everything that he throws his way. All right, well, that was a very nice way to start the series. He's going to go pool first here. In the bottom left is Dragon Phoenix Gaming's Dark on Lazarus Wastes. His opponent in the top right, currently 4 wins and 9 series losses against Dark. So with a less than 50% series win rate, and even worse when it comes to map score. Clem, he's known as the best Zerg vs Terran player in the world, but Dark just doesn't play standard generic Zerg versus Terran, and as a result has an astounding win rate versus him. It's something which Raynor and Cyril and these guys, you can see sometimes they do mix things up, and you tell they've been inspired by Dark, and they use those tricks to take down Clem sometimes. But Dark pretty consistently just knows how to handle the young Frenchman. He's going to go for a quick 5 roach pressure this game. These 2 lings will probably just try and deny this SCV. I quite like this map. There's lots of these cool pillars through the middle. And then there's like bases just along the edges. And not that many bases. I'm really fascinated by the design of this map. Some cool little holograms and stuff everywhere. Now let's see what Clem's response is, because Clem, I remember talking, it was people, I was like, why don't people roach pressure versus him? And people were saying that Lambo on his stream has been asked this a lot about why the Zergs in Europe tend to play so generic versus Clem, whereas the Koreans like Dark try a lot more aggressive things. And they said, no, we've tried these roach pressures. They never work. Like, Clem doesn't even need to see it coming. His standard response, he just micros so well that he will lose so few units and you end up behind. I don't know if that's going to be the case or not. We'll see how it goes. 4 roaches. So he's not building 5 roaches. This is a 4 roach pressure. Normally it's either 3 roaches or 5 roaches, but Dark, no stranger to just doing things his own way. And look at that SCV scout. Clem sees it. Is he going to build a bunker, or does he not even bother with the bunker? Oh, he's disrespecting it hard if he doesn't build a bunker. There we go. Bunker does go up. And 1 Ravager has more. So 3 roaches, 1 Ravager. Drones coming down behind this. And that SCV is still hiding off to the left. Very cute micro. 3rd CC on the high ground. And he's just going to try and get the tech lab up, build Marines, put them in the bunker, get a Cyclone out, which can, of course, micro push this back on its own. But no orbital making on the natural is a mistake for Clem, for sure. Is it, though? Actually, I think it's a conscious choice, because he was saying, no, constant Marines, instant Cyclone, and only then go for the orbital. So that was a calculated bit of macro inefficiency to get his defense up very quickly. Ooh-wee! This is a real nice start for Clem. He's going to lose a depot. Dark didn't commit too much, but if Dark can actually get a few SCVs, that would be good. Unfortunately, doesn't quite get it. If you could get a reactor or something, it's so much better, which is why if it was opposite spawn and there was a reactor exposed, this would be way better for him. Oh man, he gets a few SCVs, but that lock-on is very dangerous. That Ravager goes down. Oh no, he didn't pull the Ravager back in time. Dark is killing only 2 SCVs here, and that Cyclone, I mean, there's no way you get out of here. Okay, the Marines are going to try and push back the Ravager. The Cyclone did use the lock on the Overlord, which is, of course, not optimal. Doesn't mean the Ravager will definitely get home, though. I like the Biles to try and chase him off. Clem's like, I don't want to risk running out there. There could be a Ling Speed all in behind it. I don't really know what's happening. Of course, we do know 3rd hatchery is now started. Ling Speed is on the way. 34 drones to 29. First 3 orbitals dropping mules. This is a rough start for Dark. Dark, though, is used to dragging his way out of the dumpster. He's done it many times before, so he's very good in these messy games at just making things work. Now, he's building 12 Lings. I think he really needs to focus on his droning more than anything else. Dark, though, not really an efficiency lord with comebacks. He's more of a micro comeback guy. He's hanging out in the grass over here. A Ravager in the grass is worth 2 in the hand. That's what they say. That's definitely how the saying works. Bunker gets sold. Where's the engineering base is my big question. Because he's got 3 barracks and a starport, but still no engineering base down. I guess Clem's gas count is so low, and he's got so many things to invest minerals in. Depots, SCVs, and Marines, and the barracks. He's like, oh, I actually need more time before I can even afford to take these gases. He now takes the 3rd gas. I'd like to see that 4th gas go down immediately, personally. Because, yeah, he's going to struggle to get medevac production and Widow Mines and upgrades all at the same time. There we go. E-Bays and 4th gas go down. Lings and a single Ravager come in. Crazy move. He just holds his ground, though. Clem confident to hold his ground. The tank focuses the Ravager so that he stops friendly firing, and Dark there with a very random Zergling single Ravager poke. Gets nothing done. A little bit cavalier for him. Double Evo chambers going up behind it. And the fact that he went Ling Speed behind this and he's shown that, I really feel he needs to play like Roach Hydra Lurker with like basically roaches and get a few infestors out, and then slowly transition to lurkers off just like 66 to 70 workers and just try to play a very efficient defensive style. But if he plays Ling Bane from equal workers with no 4th base started at 6 minutes, like, it does not bode well for him. I just don't see that as a good start. So he's going to go 1-1 range upgrades, but he has no roaches on the map right now. I mean, Clem doesn't know this, but Clem could bloody push with what he has now, and it would cause a big problem for Dark. It would be a bad time to push because obviously the medevacs and the stim and stuff aren't quite ready. The natural push timing for Clem is about a minute from now, when all those upgrades get a bit closer to finish. Move across, have the upgrades finish. As you arrive at the enemy base, that's when you hit a real nice attack timing. 3 depots are building at a time. Very nicely done. He's kind of hitting his supply cap, but then depots are finishing, and then hitting his supply cap and depots are finishing. So near perfect macro on his part. Dark, on the other hand, getting fully supply blocked on 98. And he's going to try and clear rocks to take a base on the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's a 10 mineral patch base, guys. Lazarus Waste. This is a 10 mineral patch base. So plus 25% the normal minerals. Very, very cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's another one there. Okay, so there's a bunch of rock blocked bases in these corners that are all 10 mineral bases. I did not realize that. So you get 4 normie bases, and then there's 3 extra bases per player that are 10 mineral bases. Very cool to see. Now, Dark is behind. You might say, well, he's up in supply, he's up in workers. What are you talking about, big guys? Number 1, behind in upgrades, only about 10 seconds. Not a big deal. The problem is he's building roaches. And I'll tell you what, 16 roaches, a Ravager, these units do not scale well. They're okay right now. They might keep you alive, but these Marines and tanks, they're good now. They're good in the end game. These are fantastic units that will scale very well, especially with numbers and upgrades, because they have very high damage output. Roaches and Ravagers don't. Roaches are okay in small skirmishes, but the bigger the fight goes, the more they get stuck behind each other, the more they struggle to get angle where they're all firing at once. It's a big issue. You're meant to have a lot more supply than your opponent as well, because Roaches and Ravagers use up a lot more supply than they're really giving you value for. So you will hit maxed out supply, and if the Terran is maxed, you're behind. Your army is weaker than their army, and you need to find the correct engagements. No infestation pit, no infestors, no 2-2 upgrades. This is a massive problem for Dark right now. He's made so many Roaches and Ravagers. He's basically saying, hey, let's just shut down this push and we'll be good. And he could do it. I mean, Clem's pushing way too deep into a player who's massing Roach Ravager. This is really bad for Clem. Dark finds the angle. 2 tanks on siege. One of them dies instantly. The other one dies instantly. The third one goes down after like 2 shots. Oh, an absolute slaughter. And Clem attacking into a guy, massing Roach Ravager on 1-1. Dark is on a composition which, like I said, doesn't get any better with time. But it's good right then in those small skirmishes. If he can run forward on creep, catch you unsieged, I mean, you're gifting him the engagement he needs. Now Dark, he's got that momentum. He wants to go and push, but is this the right angle? It's a bit of a tight angle. Even with just 1 tank in the back, he's got to be careful. Baiting extra stims out of the bio is one really good way to do it, but with 5 medevacs healing, it's not going to get the damage done quickly. He might be able to shove it and win the game. But if I were him, I'd think about rotating to the left and trying to pick off that command center. Of course, he doesn't know about the command center. That would be a good move. 2-2 upgrades do start up. Where's that infestation pit? He's going to go Burrow and Tunneling Claw. Oh, Dark's playing Dark Cell. So for those who don't know, Dark likes to just do a lot of creative and interesting things, and Tunneling Claws can work out amazingly. But if your opponent happens to build turrets just for safety, it can be a dead end. And what are you delaying by spending all the gas on this and just maxing on Roach Ravager? Well, where's the infestation? Now, why is the infestors important? It's because when that bio ball gets big, Fungal will destroy this, number 1. Number 2, you need lurkers. Roaches will not keep you going when your opponent maxes out. Your army is weaker, like we said. Clem's army is almost maxed out. Good Biles coming in. Oh, man, great Biles, but he's now getting chased into a bit of a choke point. Good Biles once again, but big Marine ball chasing after him. Does throw down some more Biles. Those medevacs getting peppered, as does the Marine count. There's still no transition here for Dark. I really want to see that infestation, man. I feel like the way Clem's moving his army around, he has no vision. Literally, an infestor could walk forward and drop a fungal. Clem has no safety precautions. Clem is playing a meat-headed mass marine style. He's got a 4th planetary up, but remember, he played 8 barracks of reactors. He is on mass 15 marine production right now. He's basically doing a big 3 base all in, and these choke points are not good for Dark. This choke point's not great. The Biles are good. He gets 1 tank down, but oh no, 2 tanks surviving the Biles. He does run forward and focus 1 down, but you can see that the Marine damage output, the density of that army is just way better than the Ravagers. Ravagers waste 3 supply. 2 Marines destroy a Ravager when they stim in on top and focus it down. The army is so much better quality for Clem. He's able to get in between the rally points, and I think Dark just needed to be pre-spread with his army. He should not have had his army in 1 big blob. He should have come from 2 sides. This map has so many choke points on it. You don't want to have a giant army stuck together unless you've got the range advantage, which Clem, of course, had with the siege tanks. Even though Ravagers outrange Marines, Marines outrange the Roaches. So the most part, Terran has a massive range advantage overall. The tanks with its 13 range, of course, being the absolute killer. Now, there is a big section of Roaches he tries to go down. Clem sees it, scans, blasts them away. And I gotta say, the Tunneling Claws is always such a cute way to do it, but Dark did not engage correctly on Lazarus Wastes, a map where he should have been backstabbing with half of his Roaches or setting up the flank. You cannot squeeze an entire army through that choke point. GG, well played though. Clem gets the win with a very confident push, a very fearless push, and he takes Dark out in game 2, ties up the series. All right. Well, he did lose that last map, but the Roach pressure didn't really get done what he wanted it to. We're going now into Royal Blood. Dark going hatchery first in the bottom left side of the map. A very ugly tile set. The top right, we've got Clem representing Team Liquid. Now, for those who don't know, there's a lot of amazing map makers out there, and they have great, beautiful designs on many areas of the maps. And this is actually covered in treasure. What? There's gold coins and cups and like vases and stuff everywhere. Do you guys say vase or vase? I always said vase. They've got gold minerals on a statue. What kind of bloody decrepit, rich piece of shit civilization is this map? My lord, these guys are rich as, bro. Just gold everywhere. So anyway, the map though, just all the brown. I mean, it's not the worst, the brown tile set. Looks like wooden floorboards almost, but just a bit drab. A bit drab. I do like me colorful maps. We don't see them as much as we'd like. This area at least is very bright. It seems very bright over here, so got a very well-lit natural. The Reaper not able to get any kills. Dark, of course, building 6 Zerglings, so if you kill anything, it really is a travesty. I think there's no reason to build 6-lings still. I'm adamant about 4-lings being far better. Funnily enough, I think at low-level games, you can get away probably with building none and just doing a little bit of drone micro and maybe get ahead every game by doing that. It's good stuff, dude. Well, third command center on the way here for Clem. He says, I'm going to play my most normal style. This is a pretty long rush distance map. There's all these rocks that can be broken down to open up these mini pathways. But otherwise, you are going to have to wind back and forth a little bit. Yet again, another set of rocks that tanks could be sieged up behind to great effect. Easier to flank these ones, though, than on the map 1. Second gas and a starport goes down for Clem. Italians are coming on out. Dark's just looking to play pretty standard so far. I think Clem obviously is not playing a Hellbat timing or anything since he's played third command center. I wouldn't be surprised if he maybe goes for something like a Hellion Liberator. But starport could swap onto the tech lab. It's going to do so. And a lot of players are afraid of Dark's wild aggression. And as such, the safety Banshee is a very common thing. Very likely he'll start Cloak when he gets 100 gas as well. You are very gas-starved with this build order, though. Now look at Dark's vision. This is really good vision. You can see where the Hellions are rotating to. He's got a nice queen split. The modern age of Zerg players are very, very good at splitting those queens up to both sides, even though his control groups are overlapping for them, so they don't fully make sense. You can tell he's just manually controlling these units because he's Dark and he likes to do things his own way. He's got a quick second gas. That usually means he wants to get the 1-1 upgrades, right? Yeah, double Evo is going to go down in about 10 seconds, maybe 4:45 at the latest, I would say. And he's going to go a very greedy build. And that's good against the 3 command center build, which I don't think he actually scouted for, but if he did, he could have seen by how late this depot is that it is a very, very, very quick third CC. Now, he's got a few more lings and queens at home. He's going to try and prompt a big Hellion dive by doing a backstab, but Clem's ready for it. And going to shut that one down. Cloak is on the way. Hellions will run home to clean those Zerglings up. First Banshee ready on the right side, waiting for Cloak to finish. Dark right now, I mean, he's just not respecting Banshees at all. 5-minute spores. Cloak is late. He must have just known that he was going 3cc from something else, but luckily for him, Cloak was not finished. If it was, he would have lost about 10 drones there and a lot of mining time. Hellions push back on the left side. Ling's going to try for another backstab, and there is only one Marine at home. And, oh, Ling's are going to be able to take out that Marine, but wait. SCVs and the other Marine clean it up. And SCV on the third gets saved by the Hellions. Clem with a quick scramble to defend that. Second Banshee going down the right side of the map. We've got ourselves a relatively standard game on our hands. He's gone super quick lair. Oh, he's going Mutas again. There's no reason why he'd have this much gas unless he's dropping a Spire right now. Then again, Dark's build orders are some of the loosest build orders at the top level of StarCraft, so the second gas might just be complete nonsense. Maybe it'll time out that he starts 1-1 in Baneling speed and has the perfect amount of gas. I guess he needs 450, 250 plus 400 gas. Maybe it is timed out actually perfectly with the double upgrades. We'll see. We'll find out. Clem's Banshees are about to get cornered by these queens. Yes, queen. Does come in from both sides. And indeed, 400 gas is hit by Dark at pretty much the perfect time. Unfortunately, Dark pulls his Overseer and Queens away from getting free Banshee kills. Lings run in for a giant run by. Oh, big damage. 9-10 SCVs going down. The Banshees and the Aliens trying to fight the Queens. That's not going to work out for Clem. Clem's getting absolutely ravaged. Dark gets 12 SCVs, gets on top of the non-stim Marines and SCVs and kills even. Oh, Clem's dead. Oh man, I always say, like, you know, what is the secret sauce that beats Clem pretty consistently, that Dark uses better than anyone else? It's backstabs. It's backstab. He just backstabs big, surprising, varied times. It's different timed backstabs, different numbers of units every game, but that is absolutely massive. He's obviously not dead, but he's got a gut wound, and it's only a matter of time with this sort of economic difference that, you know, if Dark just builds 15 drones on his 4th, he's so far ahead on that economy, it's going to be hard to recover. So it's a very tough position. Now, luckily for him, Dark hasn't injected in the last 2 minutes because he was pulling his queens to defend the Hellion Banshee. Remember, I've talked a lot about how you'll never do a lot of direct damage to Dark. He doesn't lose that many units. You know, he's traded some Lings for a ton of SCV kills, but he's taken very little direct queen drone damage. The problem for Dark is when he's defending, every queen's on one control group. He just grabs them all and just A-moves them to defend the Hellion Banshee. So he misses injects there. And his extra 2 macro hatcheries, they're not quite up yet. So this is the natural greedy point in his build. He's building 7 more drones. Clem's going to push the right side. Dark only seeing it now. He spots this kind of late. And this is he's got a 5th going up on the left, but it's just started building. It's not ready. He's going to send more Lings for a run by. But he's gone a lot of queens. They need to pull over and defend this. He doesn't seem to have that many units. I feel like Dark, after killing that many SCVs, should be way ahead, but the army supply is very scary. And this corridor, I don't know if this is the right 4th base. This seems like a terrible 4th base to defend. I think Dark has objectively taken the wrong base. He does a Ling run by, it gets slaughtered. He's going to try and roll some Banes in. Yeah, this is a terrible 4th base location. He did not look at the maps. Royal Blood, I mean, this map, oh god, this base is awkward as well, but it's easier to flank their army and harder for them to push, I would say. Whereas this corridor, you need to go all the way around to flank that army. It's incredibly difficult to deal with. The Banelings are going to finish morphing. He's going to try and take out these Hellbats, but there's no Lings to take advantage of the tanks, and not the best Baneling connects by any means. He's still trying to roll Banes in. He does take out at least a bunch of the Marines, set some depots on fire, but oh my god, Clem relentless on the front. Clem's just going to shove in. Clem doesn't care about having no economy. He says, that's fine. I had an uninterrupted economy for long enough before that I've already built a lot of Marines. If I use these Marines perfectly, I can still get in here. Dark committing all of his Lings to backstabs. He wipes out the 3rd worker line. All Dark needs to do is survive. But look at this. Clem's not even going to defend. He's literally just like abandon 3rd and just strike on the other side of the map. If Dark can spend that money, he will be good, but he's massively oversaturated right now. And this army coming out of nowhere on the left side, he's focused on the right. If Clem can get that worker line, that's going to be big. He's going to take out the 4th hatchery on the left side. Those drones have nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. The Banshees and the Marines going after them. 2 medevacs finally arrive here, and a lot of these drones do fall. 10, 11 drones go down. And Clem, he's going to pull back to the siege tank, but I don't think he can really fight here. Dark, though. Oh, God, Dark getting pushed back on 2 sides at once. Clem is pushing in and just doing so much damage. And even though he didn't kill the 4th base, he does kill all the workers mining on that 4th. And that means Clem, he might have a crappy economy right now, but it's better than nothing. He's still got mining on his 3rd. Dark needs to move workers out of his main up to this 4th base. And he needs to just hold down that Zergling key. And he needs to keep hitting these backstabs, I think. They've done so much damage. They've traded so well for him. But the fights, he needs to get rid of one of these armies. Clem's set up on both sides. Dark's wanting to get rid of him. He's going to go for it now. But no! He's kind of shocked and surprised by what's happening. He's trying to take this base in the middle now. He's going for another giant Ling Bane backstab. But you can tell that Dark is just not as used to this map. Not as comfortable on it. Lings are going to go into that 3rd base and do massive damage. Banes could go straight towards the natural, would be the best move. Cut off these SCVs and go for broke. The question is this too much army? And can he actually defend at home? Because he is putting Clem's economy in the ground. Clem's economy is 6 feet under right now. He's getting almost all of his SCVs and a lot of the Marines on the rally taken out. Those Banelings in the main going to get a few more hits as well. Queens are trying to defend. It looks like Banelings went in but got gunned down there. Wait, what? He doesn't have any more Banes at home? What? I'm going to have to rewind and watch that fight. Oh my god. Oh my god. The ball of Marines gets in there and Clem says, I have no economy, but you've traded way too much of your army to damage that economy. You never dealt with my army. You can ruin someone's economy all game long. If you don't deal with their army, you're not going to be able to get it done. Let's go back and watch that last fight. So what ends up happening here is he needs to, I mean, this is his 3rd base, so he can't really lose control of this. He's got a lot of Zerglings, but he's not making enough Banelings at home. He should be turning every Zergling here into Banelings, gathering them up, and doing anything he can to stall that advance, right? But I guess he was microing on the front a bit, hoping that Clem would pull home. And Clem just said, I'm not pulling home, dude. Like, I know my economy is already getting dicked. I've just got to shove. And it's like 5 Banelings roll in, he guns them down, and he just doesn't have more Banelings. The tank is gunning him. He's trying to fall back from this side, and these tanks from the right are shelling him as he falls back from the Marines. Clem punches his way out of the grave despite taking absolutely insane economic damage. Just Dark unable to defend this 4th base early. And then, you know, this 4th in the top as well. I think Dark needed to really focus on what his expansion pattern was going to be and spreading creep as quickly as he could in that direction. And on this map, it just seems like it's a bit tough to establish that base. So very nice pushes by Clem, and Clem gets through despite, I would argue, Clem once again got caught out by Dark's openings and got the worst end of them. He still finds a way to win. And I think that's a testament to Clem's immense skill that I don't think I've ever seen him beat Dark in build orders, but he still wins some of his games. So he's back down to less than 2-1 win record now. Before it was 9 wins for Dark, 4 for him. Now it's 9 wins for Dark, 5 for Clem. Who knows? If Clem can stop getting caught off by run-bys repeatedly against Dark, I really feel he could dominate him. But that's easier said than done. It's easier to say you just need to do this. Dark's so unpredictable with the timing on those. It's a tough road. I'm really interested, though, to see what Clem can do as we track his progress there. GG, well played.